I am going to open this up with a statement. You, yes you, are more powerful than any dark magician that you hear about in these elitist groups. If you've not been living under a rock for the last year or so, perhaps you've heard of these famous, quote, files out there exposing some of the terrible behavior of many in the elite ruling class. Not all of them, of course. Perhaps while researching this, you have stumbled across the mentioning of the cult of Baal or Magick, offshoots of the Illuminati. As a side note, Magick is actually a form of burning sacrifice, not a deity, but it's an understandable mistake. But anyway, robed figures performing rituals, abusing children or adults, paying for any taboo, quote, pleasure, unquote, and manipulating economics globally. And the whole thing seems so overwhelming that it's difficult to find even which potential enemy to take a swing at. So then we are handed a name, a monster, in this case, yes, Epstein and others. But if we do feel as if we want to fight back against such corruption, as I said before, it feels overwhelming. And guess what? There is scientific evidence as to why. The human brain is designed to handle villages of about 150 people on a primal level. So when you're looking at these global issues, the whole thing just seems so overwhelming, and there's millions upon millions of these files, and what do you believe, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and you can start chasing down just thousands, millions of different rabbit holes. And our brain is only designed for the accountability that would occur if you live sort of tribally or in a village of about what our brain is designed for, about 150 people, maybe up to about 300, but most scientists say about 150, 200 people. So let's start and let's begin by repeating my opening statement. I believe that you are in fact more powerful on a singular level than any of these nefarious characters, these dark magicians in these groups. You of the 90%, that is right, we of the tribe. And there is very good reason for this. You see, neuroscientifically speaking, people who have money or power on especially an elitist level have been proven to have compromised dopamine systems, meaning there has been many studies scientifically that when you accumulate power over others, your survival-based pleasure system, your ventral striatum, the searching, the whole thing becomes corrupted. Your mirror neurons begin to malfunction. Yes, that's the part of your brain system that allows you to relate and feel empathy towards others. Further isolation from the other 90% of humans feeds us even more. The laws that bring consequences to most people don't apply anymore, making the situation even more anchored in reality. The ability to go and purchase any human fetish, pleasure, desire begins to destroy your ability to feel pleasure in the first place. So are we dealing with monsters, or are we dealing with an inevitable process if these folks in that kind of position do not own their awareness, more intensity becomes required to move the survival-based pleasure centers of the brain. The ventral striatum is activated to search for more and more. It never goes away. And it gets progressively worse, like any addiction. When I first entered rehab, I witnessed firsthand what happens when addicted people call it, human beings caught in an addicted loop, are no longer taking their drug of choice, a condition known as anhedonia, the inability to experience pleasure. And for some, it's permanent. However, for most humans, it is not permanent. It goes away. It lasts more in the realm of months. For some, it might be a year or two. For most people, it's months. Folks, this corrupted brain through process, through loops and patterns and systems, that is the real cult of Baal. Now, some group like that, it may exist. That sort of elitist, whatever ritualistic group, it may actually exist. Now, historically, I'm not sure how ancient it would be. Baal is mentioned in the Bible, but the clay tablets providing details on Baal specifically, they weren't discovered until the late 1920s. So yeah, it could be multi-generational. Honestly, if a group like that does exist, and I absolutely believe it does, all that is decoration. The enemy that they want us to be scared of is they'll say, ooh, the occult. No, that is not the enemy. The enemy is compromised dopamine, survival, pleasure centers in the brains of those participating. And the ritual, all that is a trance preparation. And the reason why I say that the other 90% of us, even those who have never studied magic a day in their life, are more powerful, is because look at what they have to do to make their magic work. I'm not saying their stuff doesn't work. I'm saying, but look at what they got to do. Start wars, abuse people, corrupt economies, create vast punishment systems they themselves don't obey. But you, my dear friends, your magic, your power can be activated by the simplest of things. Because your mental, spiritual, chemical, electrical systems have not been compromised in such a way. A common person, the other 90% of us who are not of this elite class, can generate real power or alignment by enjoying a day in your favorite nature spot, working in a flow state on an artistic project, praying, community in church, singing in the choir, or just singing in general, playing a musical instrument, enjoying your favorite food, working on a car, talking to an old friend, meditation while staring at a candle, watching a favorite sporting event, chanting a mantra. The sad people within the elite class, the ones who have not owned their awareness, who have not taken control over their mind, body, spirit, nervous system, the ones that would commit these monstrous acts, these crimes against humanity. Folks, this is my point. They're not an anomaly. It's not like, hey, look, we got the monster, this is over. Look, someone's in a cage, or some form of, which by the way, yes, they do deserve to be brought to justice, absolutely. But my point is, this isn't an anomaly. They are an inevitable byproduct, neurologically speaking, of a system that allows such power and wealth isolation to exist in the first place. What did Caesar do? Caesar did whatever the fuck Caesar wanted to do. Do you understand what I mean? But know this, I truly believe that in a sense, those who are engaging in this behavior, those who have been corrupted to the point where they have to do these terrible things for any kind of magic to happen, I believe that this sad group of human beings is jealous of how powerful you are. That is the importance of awareness. That is the importance of simplicity, reduction, simplicity, and reduction. And again, I've said, it's not all of those people who find themselves in that elite ruling class. Some people, like in the movie The Hobbit, remember the hobbits were able to resist the ring of power. But they're fighting a battle, because if you can go out and buy absolutely anything you want, that begins to attack your pleasure centers in your brain. It isn't any different than being addicted to drugs or substances of any kind. It's all the same. Like I said, you out there of the 90%, on an individual, singular level, are more powerful than them. And there's a chance they may be jealous. Or maybe a part of them just longs to be part of the tribe again. After all, they are isolated. Perhaps that's part of the answer. Remind people. I know people who have become very wealthy that started with almost nothing. Remind them maybe that they are part of the tribe. Communication, awareness, reduction, simplicity, community. You're listening to Main Street Universe, the show and network, reminding you that the mysteries and possibilities of the universe are closer to Main Street than you may have ever imagined. From my new home in the mountains, Hagerstown, Maryland, I'm at the Washington County Library. Have a beautiful Tuesday evening.